Well, what a difference an hour can make. We'll start over here on the French right flank. We've got a number of Austrian units that have come in. The cavalry parity that they have on that side has gone a long way towards nullifying the French little light division that was over there. To make matters worse, Count Pajol had a short horse shot out from underneath him, and he's stunned for a few turns. So his uh, regiments of cavalry are kind of paralyzed in the meantime. Um, Over here, the little town or the little farm of Lopta is invested by the Austrians, and they've been slowly shooting the stuffing out of the little provisional infantry that is holding that. Right now, things are looking pretty much like they'll be able to, once they take that, kind of move and take some of these little towns out here along the French right. We've got a large group of these Grenzers coming in this way that will start to put some pressure on the French on this side as well. And hopefully they'll be able to secure a lot of this general order terrain out here on the French right before all the French heavy cavalry starts showing up later in the day. Um, Now, if we move a little further over, you'll see here that the Austrians have two big columns of infantry coming up this way and this way to join the fray there in the sort of French center there at Dresden in the suburbs. Now, if we look a little further over here, you'll start to see uh, the um, the Austrians in the early part of the 10 o'clock turn captured redoubt number 4, and they've made some headway in pushing in towards the outskirts of the town. They've got a number of units all along here, kind of pushing in, and it's kind of been a matter of who can get whose infantry to break first, who can score a hit first. The French don't have a very strong morale for most of those provisional units, so they tend to break at the first hit, although the Austrians haven't had the best of luck either on their morale checks for the first hit that they've taken as well. Now, if we move a little further over, we'll see here that the redoubt number 3 is facing some serious pressure. We've got the couple of the provisional French units are here. They form square um, to sort of ward off the dominant uh, Allied cavalry in that area. They're trying to support the redoubt as long as they can, and they've been taking quite a bruising from the Grenzers as well as the other skirmishers that the Austrians have put out there, their Jaegers, etc. And so they're getting whittled away and will probably get hit by some of those incoming Austrian units. And redoubt number 3, I presume, will fall probably in the 11 o'clock hour, sometime in the 11 o'clock hour. Now, over here on the French right, it has been the real reversal of fortune, where they had had dreadful rolls in the 9 o'clock hour. Um, the Prussians have had dreadful rolls in the 10 o'clock hour, and where they had been making progress, now just great gaps have opened up in the Prussian line. And if we look here a little further, you'll see that the bulk of von Perch's brigade is all routed. All of these units over here, and then a lot of these other ones that are streaming back have all routed, so they're in pretty bad shape. And they are really dreadful morale for a lot of those units. They remind me of the Spanish mobs from Albuera. Um, it's just really, really sad. So what we've got going on here is that the French situation has gotten a little bit better. They still do not have a redoubt number 2 that fell to the Prussians in the last hour, but at least they're holding the line, and the Prussians aren't making any headway into the suburbs over here, as almost all of Perch's brigade has fled the field. Now, if we look a little further over here, we see that the Russians are coming in. We've got this big division that has been marching in, and they're going to come on this side of the Landgraben and try to come in over here where the French had gotten softened up a little bit from the Prussians, and see if they can't make some headway. But they're going to be facing a little bit of very stiff wind, in that once the Imperial headquarters showed up, I had established here by redoubt number 1 a grand battery with Drouot as their leader, and so they have been sending all kinds of dreadful fire at the Allies from this set of cannons out here. Getting that extra shot in every turn makes a huge difference, and has really gone a long way towards softening up and breaking up the Russians that had been over in this sector earlier in the battle. And now this whole area is kind of stabilized somewhat, and I'm probably going to send another battery over there to give it even more punch. So the Russians are going to have to kind of approach that carefully. They've got a line of skirmishers here to try to, absorb some of the damage as their units come in, and they'll probably then work on seeing if they can't make an attack with some cavalry this way and some of the infantry this way to knock out some of those batteries, in addition to then trying to break into the city in that direction. Looking over here towards the main part of town, we've got Teste's division is starting to march in, so some much needed French reinforcements. But at this point in time, the French are actually doing fairly well. Napoleon and the General Staff have been employed mostly in the recovery of routed French units, and are now sending them back out into battle. And Saint-Cyr has returned from his little hospitalization from a few turns ago. So now we've got some more maneuver units that we can generate, and a little bit more flexibility with the French. So some ups and downs, but for the most part the French are holding off the Allies, and that's where we stand at the end of the 10 o'clock hour, beginning of the 11 o'clock turn.